It's a different perspective, and thanks for bringing it to us tonight. 08085 909 693. I want to move on and talk about Shamima Begum next. The Court of Appeal has ruled she should be allowed to return to the UK to fight the decision to remove her British citizenship. The Home Office said the decision was very disappointing and it will apply for permission to appeal. Begum, who's now 20, was one of 3 schoolgirls who left London to join the Islamic State group in Syria in 2015. Now, her citizenship was revoked by the Home Office on what they described as security grounds after she was found in a refugee camp in 2019. The criminal defence lawyer, Tasneem Akunji, represents Shamima Begum's family. Tasneem, good evening.
Evening.
Hi. Tell me why you think your client should be allowed to return to the UK.
Well, I think the Court of Appeal made that abundantly clear, which is that she's incapable of engaging with an appeal process. Hello?
Yes, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
From her current location in Al-Roj camp in Syria, she's incapable of engaging in any coherent way with the appeal process. It requires her evidence to be given. It requires her to be able to give instructions to her lawyers, and it requires the court to hear what she has to say about allegations that will be put to her in due course. That can't happen at the moment from where she is, and therefore the court has ruled that she needs to be brought back to the UK in order to engage with that appeal process.
We've just spent, obviously in an unconnected way, we've just spent the first couple of hours of the show tonight talking about how, the way we all work has fundamentally changed through remote working and the use of technology. Why could Shamima Begum not communicate with video conferencing, with technology that would enable her to do all of that communication without having to physically, literally be in the UK?
Well, I mean, that shows a paucity of knowledge about the situation on the ground in Syria.
I'm not suggesting she stays in Syria, but she could do it elsewhere, but not the UK, surely.
Well, I mean, who are you to put her in someone else's country? On what basis?
I'm just suggesting it's not necessarily a case that she would have to be in the UK to have those rights, is it?
So she's not, at the moment, she's not a UK citizen. Bangladesh isn't accepting her. So which country do you think we can legally force our problem onto, which is Shamima Begum? Are you going to get the French to take her? Are you going to get the Spanish to take her? If we're not going to take her, how are you going to do that?
So what happens next, Tasneem, in this process? The Court of Appeal is likely now to face the government trying to seek leave to appeal their decision. So what happens next in the process?
Well, they'll have to put their grounds for leave to appeal on Monday. If the Supreme Court accept those grounds, then a new date will be set for their arguments to be aired in roughly maybe 4 to 6 months, somewhere in that time frame. And these arguments will then be hashed out there and a decision made, really. That decision then folds back in to the SIAC courts, the Special Immigration Tribunal courts, who are bound by that, and then the matter moves forward, really.
So this is likely to take another, 6, 7, 8, 9 months?
Well, it depends on whether the Supreme Court thinks that the Home Office have got even grounds to have leave to appeal. And given the very basic nature, very common sense nature of this decision, that's something I wouldn't presume as a given, really. So we'll have to wait and see what the Supreme Court say about the Home Office lawyers' arguments.
And have you got a sense yet, or can you predict what those arguments will be?
To be honest, I don't really know, apart from it being a rehash of the arguments made in front of the lower courts, and we've already had those aired out. So, I wait with bated breath to get sight of those in due course. Actually, it's a matter of interest to me.
I noted when I was reading about this that our former Home Secretary, Sajid Javid, and it was Mr. Javid who made the decision to strip your client, of her citizenship in February 2019, he tweeted a statement saying that he was deeply concerned about the Court of Appeal's judgment, and he said, regardless of the outcome of Shamima Begum's case, if she came back to the UK, quote, it will prove impossible to subsequently remove her. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think that Sajid Javed, whilst he was in the Home Office, didn't know how to apply law properly anyway. So he's not a qualified lawyer. So I'd rather listen to legal opinion from somebody who actually knows how to apply immigration law without breaking the law themselves. For example, the Windrush generation scenario that he helped fail to fix. What's
Shamima Begum's state of mind?
I don't know. I know her family state of mind, but she's not my client. It's her family, not my client.
And how are they bearing up through this, her family?
Well, they instructed me 5 years ago to try and get their daughter back from the clutches of ISIS, and they want her, they want their child back home to safety. So they're heartened by the decision, but they know that there's still a long journey ahead until she's away from Syria and back home where she was born. Then they won't be they won't be resting easy.
And in terms of if she does end up back in the UK, facing trial here, do you think that it is likely that, given the high-profile nature of who she is and the press coverage about her, that she would have to ultimately, if she ever did get freedom in this country, that she would have to consider changing her identity?
Well, no, she's quite comfortable wearing a burqa and a niqab, so good luck spotting her.
And do you worry about the court of public opinion about her?
I'm a lawyer, so I'm worried about the court, not the court of public opinion. That's the preserve of politicians.
Because I just wonder, looking back on it now, with all the knowledge you have of dealing with a family, and you will have been across all the press coverage, do you think it was wise for her to have given the interviews that she did at the time?
No, not at all. However, she was candid in her interviews, and that's caused a reaction because people believe in the truth of her words. But if you believe in the truth of her words in the early interviews, then you must afford that to the truth of her words in her later interviews, where she says she should renounce ISIS and would encourage people to not join.
Okay. Tasneem, thank you very much indeed, sir. Nice to talk to you tonight. Thank you. That's the lawyer representing Shamima Begum's family, Tasneem Akunji. You can let me know what you think. 08085 909 693. In fact, here's Terry in Newcastle on this very point. Hello, Terry.
Hiya. I just think that a young girl that was groomed in this country to be taken to Syria is our problem to deal with. We shouldn't turn our back on such a young person.
Would you turn your back on an older person? Or is everybody entitled to their citizenship, no matter what?
If an older person had made that choice on their own, yes, I would, but not on such a young girl who was obviously groomed in this country to be used in the way she was.
So I'm not trying to sound clever with you then, Terry, but it therefore follows that for you to think like you do, you don't accept our current definition of the criminal age of responsibility, because we set that in this country, certainly in England, at the age of 10. We determine as a society that from the age of 10, a person knows the difference between right and wrong to such an extent that they're criminally responsible for their wrongs from age 10. Now, Begum was 15.
I think it's, well, personally, I think at 15, she was unable to make her own choice.
Do you think?
Yeah. Well, that's definitely my opinion.
You have a think about how independent of mind, how independent of spirit some 15 and 16-year-olds are in this country. The legal rights that 16-year-olds have in this country.
Even if that's the case, she's still our responsibility. She's nobody else's responsibility. She belongs to this country. She should come back to this country. And if she was responsible for what she's been accused of, she should answer in this country.
Okay. Terry, thank you. Interesting, sir. 08085 909 693 if you want to react to that on working from home and the new life that some of us might have, not commuting anymore, but also not getting to meet our work colleagues anymore. Lloyd in Glasgow. Hello, Lloyd.
Hi, Stephen. Glad you're back on. Just a wee point. I know all the points you've been putting across tonight, but just another side of it. I'm an agency worker.